Warren Moon, great to see you. Did you see the FU, the bird flipping T-shirts that these champions are winning? What do you make of that?
Well, you know, that's what they do today.
That is what they do. They'll have a good time.
Everybody shows their emotion. Nobody holds anything back.
And they shouldn't. They should be celebrated and have a great time. Great to see you. As always, got to see you in person just for a sec last week. We're a few hours away from this parade. It kicks off at 11 a.m., close to 1 million people. You're not that far. You going to make it down there?
I'm not that far, and I'm still thinking about it, Kay. It's cold out there. It's cold.
How cold?
It's like below 40.
Warren Moon, you live a great life. Below 40, you're not leaving the house. You sound like me.
Well, the last Seahawks parade, it was 27, so I froze my tail off in that one, and I said, if I want to do that again, I'm a little bit older now.
Who's the person that could call you and get you out there?
Probably Mike McDonald.
Oh, yeah. Mike McDonald on line one. Let's get this out there. He's got to give you a little FaceTime.
He's probably watching film for the next game. He's not even thinking about this parade.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not. He's got an iPad. He's sitting at the bottom of the bus, dialing stuff up.
He's worried about the offseason. Who are we going to get to improve our football team?
Warren, I've never met him. What do you make of him?
I love the guy. I just love his demeanor. I mean, he's the same guy every day. If you watch this football team and see how connected they are, it's because of him. And the guys bought into what he was selling when he first got there. And this is a team that really loves each other. And it's not just hogwash that people saying that. If you talk to a man, all these guys really care about each other. And it's because of the way Mike presented his philosophy and the way he wanted to run this football team.
I cannot believe we have not talked about this yet. I stumbled across the Super Bowl 25 halftime show. Okay, we were looking at some things. This is New Kids on the Block, featuring an all-kids cast with special guest Warren Moon. Warren, what is this?
You know, Kay, I didn't make it to the Super Bowl that year. I said, how can I get on that field? And this is the way I got on there with Minnie Mouse. Anything it took to get on there, I was going to make it happen.
What were the rehearsals like for this? How intense?
So it's not just Bad Bunny at halftime, it's Warren Moon at halftime, too.
It looks incredible.
It wasn't intense, but there's no question about it. They put a lot of time into it to make it look great for television. And you see, I didn't have a big part. I didn't have to do very much. It was all the other people that did all the work. I just did a little bit of jogging and I had to make sure my uniform fit right.
That was, of course, the Giants-Bills wide right game. This Super Bowl for you specifically, I mean, it hits home with these Seattle connections. I think you'll make your way to the parade if I know you. A little dip in, little dip out, little handshake. Maybe you end up just at Lumen Field where it will end. I'd like to ask your opinion, or maybe not your opinion. There's not really, I mean, what opinion can you have on Sam Darnold? He went and rewrote how he's been looked at his entire career. I think that's his story, and it's almost like we're overlooking how hard that might be. To go somewhere, to deal with the mental adversity, the New York, to be the backup, all of that, so many different stops. Can you sort of, as one of the greats to ever do it, can you contextualize how difficult it is to do what Sam did?
Yeah, because I tried to do it with the way my career went, as far as, having to go to another country and play for, 6 years, come back and kind of prove myself to this league and get to the playoffs many times, but never got this far. But Sam's journey is an amazing one as well, because he was a young guy that kind of lost his confidence once he left New York and had to rebuild it somehow. I really credit Kyle Shanahan a lot for his confidence coming back, because he went into San Francisco. He was a backup. He didn't have a lot of pressure on him, and he learned under one of the best offensive minds in the game. And then he goes on to Minnesota to do the same thing with Kevin. And now he comes to Seattle and gets another great opportunity with good talent around him, and you see what he's been able to do. So, yeah, his story has been amazing. I think they should make a movie out of it, especially the way it ends with a Super Bowl win.
Who would play Sam Darnold?
Wow. That's a good question. Matt Damon, he plays everybody, doesn't he?
Oh, that's actually a really good one. Matt Damon playing. I don't. He's a Patriots fan.
Matt Damon will want to play him though because of the New England connection. He might not want to play the quarterback of the team that beat him in the Super Bowl.
Then what kind of an actor is he? He must be objective and embrace all sorts of roles in
He's
that
human.
lens. Yeah, he is. He is human. And speaking of the Patriots, Drake May, 23 years old. I imagine you'll say or think it's a valuable learning experience. What is your message to young Drake as he takes this next step?
Well, hopefully he does learn from all of this, and only he knows exactly how he felt going into that game physically. And then I think he was confused at times in the game. They've got to put a couple more good pieces around him to keep him protected, because he had bullets coming from all different angles in that game against him. And once you get kind of rattled early in the game, it's kind of tough to get your composure back for the rest of the game, especially for a young guy. So hopefully they improve their offensive line, get him a few more weapons on the outside. This kid's going to have a tremendous career for a long time just because of his whole overall makeup.
How hurt did he look to you?
I don't think he looked terribly hurt, but you could tell he wasn't the same guy.
Yeah.
But again, if you're dealing with a deficiency and now all of a sudden you're having to throw under duress most of the time with that deficiency, you're not going to be as effective. So if anything, that offensive line could have done a better job of protecting him a little bit more so he could throw the football as well as he possibly could under the conditions of his injury.
Out of those drafted quarterbacks from 2024 who've made the playoffs, we got Drake, Jaden, Caleb, and Bo. Who's your guy out of those? Who's tops?
Wow.
It's hard. Here's the draft class.
It's a toss-up between Jaden and Caleb. I mean, both of those two guys are very, very special, and that's the reason why they were drafted 1-2 a couple of years ago. And Caleb showed it this year. Jaden showed it last year. I want to see all these guys get healthy on the field. Half those guys on that picture right there, even more than half of them, have been hurt all throughout the year. So we got to get some healthy quarterbacks in the league, and that's one of the things the league has made such a big deal about, is protecting the most important position in pro sports. And most of the top guys in this league, not only those young guys, but a lot of the older ones, Patrick Mahomes and on and on and on, have all been injured this year. So you got to get those guys back on the field healthy.
It's a great point and a lesson going forward, and how you got to either shuffle around that O-line or really deeply invest into it, like they will in New England, like we'll see, like they did with the Seahawks. And I was talking to Jason McCourty about this on Monday, so it was very fresh. I hadn't slept or whatever, but I always want there to be a lesson. Like, what can I learn from this? And there's like a conversation about well-balanced teams with dominant defenses up against top quarterbacks. What's better? What would you prefer? What should teams be doing? So how important is roster balance compared to having one of those top guys, the Joshes, the Lamars, the Joes, when you're chasing a Super Bowl, which should be the only goal, really?
Yeah, I think roster balance is very important, because quarterback, even though it's one of the most important, if not the most important position in all of team sports, it's also a very dependent position. You have to depend on a good offensive line to keep you upright. You have to depend on receivers to make plays for you. You have to depend on a running game that keeps the team more balanced, so all the pressure is not put on your shoulders to carry the offense. And then you got to have a good defense. So I think having that balance is going to help any quarterback. And if he's got a lot of talent, his job is to make those big plays at the big times, whether it's in the 2-minute drill, whether it's when he gets in the red zone, things like that. That's where he really makes his money.
In the theme of looking ahead to 2026, since we're closing the chapter on this one today, as that celebration happens in Seattle, in the area, we gave you a little homework. You were nice enough, our Hall of Famer, to give us your top 5 quarterbacks heading into next season. Let's take a look at these. Okay, here they are. So we've got Patrick Mahomes. I love that. The forgotten Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Lamar Jackson. Why is Justin Herbert where he is?
Well, let me say, first off, I didn't put them in any order. They just asked me who my top 5 were, and I just gave them 5 names. But this is a pretty solid group. And, again, all those guys, except for maybe Joe Burrow, were hurt. Well, even Joe Burrow was hurt during the season. What am I talking about? All those guys were banged up during this year or hurt at one time or didn't finish the season. So that's what I'm looking forward to, all those guys coming back healthy again, and then they can get back to the top of their game. But you see there's a group of young guys that you showed earlier that are right there on their tails ready to take over if their play starts to falter. So the league is in a really good position quarterback-wise. It's very healthy that way because you have these guys are what you would call, I guess, seasoned veterans, all getting to be around 30 years old. Then you've got that younger group behind them, all just waiting to take over the mantle.
Is there a team that you are eyeing for Super Bowl 61 or as far as just having a great year? I like the Chiefs. And if I look at the odds right now, they're not getting a lot of love, as they're not even on here.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how Philadelphia bounces back because they still have one of the best rosters in the league. They just got to get things turned around, especially on the offensive side of the ball, on what type of team they want to be, their identity. Green Bay is a team, if they could stay healthy, you know, they lost a lot of their key components in that Chicago Bear game. They lost their tight end, they lost their top receiver, they lost Michael Parsons earlier in the year. So they're a team that can make some noise if they can get all their guys healthy. That's such an important part of professional football is keeping your guys healthy and ready to play. And if you don't have that, it's going to really affect the chemistry of your football team. So health over the course of a 17-game season, and it's going to even be worse going forward, Kay, because now they want to go to 18 games. That's just more wear and tear on your body over a long period of time.
It's so true. We got a couple weeks till the franchise tag happens, then free agency, then, of course, the draft, which is in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of guys at your position that could be on the move. I want to show you some of these names that are sort of a bit buzzy here. Is there one that pops out to you? Someone that if you're in charge of what goes on a team, you're like, yes, let's get this guy in the building.
Kyler Murray is intriguing to me because he's such a talented guy.
Talented.
I just don't know if he's matured to the point to where he wants to be the leader to take the reins of a football team and say, I'm going to lead you guys to the promised land. If he ever does that to go along with his ability, he's got a chance to really make some noise in this league. And I really love the way Mac Jones played last year for San Francisco during the time when Brock Purdy was hurt. So he's shown that he can play in this league at a high level. And then Malik Willis is very interesting to me because of the way he played with Green Bay. And I think he's really developed well. And I think his best football is still ahead of him if somebody wants to take a chance and keep developing him.
I was blessed enough to sit down with Shador Sanders last week at Super Bowl. He had such, like, he was
blessed,
so,
huh?
Yeah, he was, like, thoughtful. Yeah, he was very thoughtful. He was, I mean, he's dealing with not knowing what his role is. He found that out live on my set that Monken said his new guy was like, I don't know, his role's to be TBD. I told him that live on television, not knowing what he hadn't heard it before, and I thought he handled it really well. Like, that's to be expected, is what he said. It stayed with me. That comment from him, how he's handling himself. What do you want to see out of him if he's going to take that job and run with it? They're talking about bringing other guys in, competition. What do you need to see from Shedeur?
Just stand up to that competition and do what it takes this offseason to show not only the coach, but the rest of the organization, your teammates, that you're willing to put in the responsibility that it takes to be a starting quarterback in this league, and get away from some of the stuff that might be questionable about what he does with his personal life and things like that. You know, I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong or against the law or anything like that, but you know, he has a tendency to bring a show wherever he goes, and just tone down some of that stuff and just become a quarterback. Because in the National Football League, you have to act a certain way, believe it or not, playing this position, because you're a leader not only in the clubhouse, but you're a leader in that whole community. So everything you do is going to be reflected upon. So that's the thing I want to see out of him. Has he matured to the point to what it takes to be a professional quarterback and not just a college quarterback?
It's well said. Let's finish with your Titans. Cam Ward, mature, incredible, getting paired up with Brian Dable, who's known for working with quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Jackson Dart, Daniel Jones. What is the perfect usage to utilize Cam's ability next season?
Well, talk to him and see what he does best, what he likes to do, and then incorporate that into the offense. and use his legs some in a way where it's called upon. Like there's called plays for the quarterback to use his legs. Just put that extra threat on the defense. He just has to be very smart when he does run to make sure he doesn't put himself in harm's way. But when he can use his legs, he just puts that much more pressure on the defense, and he definitely can throw the ball with anybody. He's got a really good arm. He's very accurate with the football. And I think Brian Daboll will get the most out of him, especially because he's a perfect dual threat type of quarterback, and he's worked with dual threat guys before, and they've had success under him.
He needs some help a little bit, or he doesn't need it maybe, but he does. I want to see him have like an outside threat, right? A free agent or wide receiver. Let's. I think we have a couple here. So we've got Mike Evans that'd be crazy. Mike Evans is up. Romeo Doubs potentially. Rashid Shaheed. Is there somebody that Borgonzi should pair with Cam?
Well, I like Christian Kirk. He did a great job for the Texans. I don't know if they're going to bring him back or not. Rashid Shaheed, you saw what he did for Seattle, not only from a special team standpoint, but he can do a lot of things as a receiver. And he can also run, jet sweeps and things like that. All you want to do is put the ball in his hand somehow, some way. Romeo Doubs, if he can stay healthy, he's shown he can be one of the better receivers in this league as well. And then George Pickens, you don't know what you're going to get out there with him, but you're going to get a very talented guy, but you want to make sure that his mind and head is in the right place if you bring him into your football team.
Love all of that. I just heard a ping on your computer. Is that Mike McDonald? Line one?
No, that was my reminder. It's time to leave for the parade.
You're going! Yay! Warren, let's go! Have so much fun. I want to see you. I want that T-shirt, that Sam Darnold FU T-shirt. We got to get one on you.
I got to go get my gloves and my mittens and my earmuffs,
Yeah, the whole East Coast is rolling their eyes at you, Warren. 40 degrees sounds pretty nice to anybody out there, but that's incredible. It would not be a celebration of Seattle and that team if you were not there. So I'm so glad. Enjoy every moment.
It's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny and clear and beautiful.
Stay warm out there. Up next.